James and Tom. I remember when I was a boy. My name is James. I had a brother. His name was Tom. He was 1 year younger than me. We were very close. We did everything together. We ate breakfast together every morning. Then we walked to school. We sat next to each other in class. We played football after school. Every day was the same. I was happy because Tom was with me. Tom loved football. I loved it too. We played in the park with our friends. We ran fast. We kicked the ball hard. We laughed and had fun. At night, we watched football on TV. We dreamed of playing for a big team. We wanted to be stars. Tom said, "One day we will play in a big stadium." I said, "Yes, we will do it together." Our mother was kind. Her name was Emily. She made breakfast for us. She helped us with homework. She smiled when she saw us happy. We all lived in a small house. It was not big, but it was warm. It was full of love. Every evening we had dinner together. After dinner we talked and laughed. We were a happy family. One day everything changed. It was a normal day. We went to school. We played football at lunch. We laughed. After school, I went home first. Tom stayed back. He wanted to talk to a friend. I waited at home. But Tom did not come back. I waited and waited. Then the phone rang. It was the hospital. They said there was an accident. Tom was hit by a car. He was walking home. The car was fast. The road was wet. The driver did not see him. Tom went to the hospital, but the doctor could not save him. Tom died that day. I could not believe it. My brother was gone. My best friend was gone. My heart broke. My house was not the same. It was quiet. It was cold. Mother cried every day. I cried too. I tried to be strong. I wanted to help Mother, but I was sad. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I missed Tom so much. I looked at his bed. It was empty. I looked at his shoes. They were still near the door. Everything made me cry. I did not want to go to school. I did not want to play football. I sat in my room. I looked at the window. I remembered our games. I remembered our dreams. It hurt too much. Mother said, "Try to smile," but I could not smile. I only wanted Tom back, but he was not coming back. One day I went to the park. I sat on a bench. I watched the sky. I watched the birds. Then a boy came. He said, "Do you want to play with us?" I looked at him. He smiled. He looked kind. I said yes. We played football. I ran. I kicked the ball. I felt the sun on my face. I felt the wind. I felt a little better. That night I told Mother. She smiled a little. She said Tom would be happy. I said I think so too. I looked at the stars. I thought of Tom. I said I will play for both of us. I knew he wanted me to be happy. So I tried. I tried to smile again. I tried to live again. After that day in the park, I went there every week. I played football with new boys. Their names were Mark, Leo, and Ben. They were nice to me. They did not ask many questions. They just played. I started to laugh again. I started to run fast again. The sun felt warm on my face. The wind felt soft. It was the first time I felt okay in a long time. At home, things were still hard. My mother, Emily, was still very sad. She sat in Tom's room and looked at his photos. Sometimes she cried. Sometimes she was quiet. But I did not know what to say. I just sat with her. I held her hand. I wanted to help her feel better. I wanted her to smile again, but I knew it would take time. One day I made breakfast. It was eggs and toast. I put a flower on the table. I said, "Good morning, Mom." She looked at me. She smiled a little. She said, "Thank you, James." That smile made me happy. It was small, but it was something. I knew she was trying. I was trying too. We needed each other now more than ever. In the evening, I took out the football. I cleaned it. It was the same ball Tom and I played with. I held it close. I remembered his voice. I remembered his laugh. I said, "This is for you, Tom." I went outside and kicked the ball. I ran down the street. I felt him with me. I felt strong again. I was not alone. Not really. Each night I looked at the photo on my wall. It was me and Tom in the park. We were smiling. We were holding a football. I talked to the photo. I said, "I miss you." I said, "I will play for you." I said, "I will be strong." The photo gave me hope. His smile gave me light. I knew I had to keep going. At school, some kids asked me, "Where is Tom?" I said, "He is not here." They said, "Sorry." I nodded. I did not want to talk much. I just wanted to learn and go home. But some days were better. Some days I laughed with Mark. Some days I played games at lunch. Slowly I felt better. Slowly I felt like me again. On Saturday, I went to the beach with my mom. It was Tom's favorite place. The sky was blue, the sea was calm. We sat on the sand. We said nothing. We just listened to the waves. Then Mom said, "He loved this place." I said, "Yes, he did." We both cried a little, but it felt okay. It felt like he was near. After that, we went to the beach every year on Tom's birthday. We brought flowers. We brought his favorite snacks. We sat and talked about him. We told happy stories. We laughed and cried. It was our way to keep him close. It helped our hearts heal. It made us feel strong. It made us feel like a family again. Months passed, and I started to smile more. I woke up early. I ate breakfast with my mom. We talked about simple things. She told me about her flowers. I told her about school. It felt good to talk again. It felt good to hear her laugh. Our house was not the same, but it was not so quiet anymore. It started to feel like home again. I began to play football every weekend. Mark, Leo, Ben, and I made a team. We played at the park. We passed the ball fast. We ran and shouted. We were not the best team, but we had fun. After the game, we sat on the grass. We drank water and told jokes. I felt happy there. I felt free. I knew Tom would like that. Sometimes I looked at the sky. I thought about Tom. I said, "Are you watching me?" I hoped he could see me play. I hoped he was proud. I talked to him in my mind. I told him everything. I said, "I played well today." I said, "I made a goal." I said, "I miss you, but I am okay." Talking to him helped me feel strong. One day, my teacher asked us to write a story. She said, "Write about someone special." I wrote about Tom. I wrote about our games. I wrote about his smile. I wrote about the day he left. When I finished, I gave it to the teacher. She read it and cried. She said, "This is beautiful, James." I felt proud. I felt seen. My friends read the story too. They hugged me. They said, "We are here for you." I smiled. I said, "Thank you." I knew I was not alone. I had my friends. I had my mom. I had Tom in my heart. That gave me power. That gave me light. I was not sad all the time now. I had good days and bad days, but I kept going. One evening, I found Tom's old shirt. It was blue and white. It had his name on the back. I held it close. It smelled like him. I did not cry. I smiled. I said, "I will wear this when I play." I put it in my bag. On Sunday, I wore it to the game. My friends looked at me. I said, "This is for Tom." They all smiled. That game was special. I ran fast. I kicked hard. I made 2 goals. I looked at the sky and smiled. I felt like Tom was with me. I felt like he gave me power. After the game, my friends clapped. They said, "You were amazing today." I said, "It was for my brother." They nodded. They understood. I was happy. Later that night, I sat with my mom. We drank hot tea. I told her about the game. She smiled and said, "Tom is proud of you." I looked at her. Her eyes were soft. She touched my hand. I felt warm. I felt loved. I knew I had lost a lot, but I also knew I still had many good things. I still had hope in my heart. One morning I woke up early. The sun was bright. The sky was blue. I put on my shoes and went outside. I took the football with me. I walked to the park alone. I sat on the bench where Tom and I always sat. I looked around. Kids were playing, birds were singing. I smiled softly and held the ball tight in my hands. I stood up and started to play. I kicked the ball to the wall. It came back fast. I kicked again. I ran after it. My heart beat fast. I felt strong. I felt free. I closed my eyes for a second. I heard Tom's voice in my head. He said, "Go, James." I opened my eyes. I laughed. It felt like he was there with me just like before. Later that day, I saw a little boy. He was sitting alone. He had no ball. He looked sad. I went to him. I said, "Do you want to play?" He looked at me and smiled. He nodded. We started to kick the ball. He laughed. I laughed too. It was a simple moment, but it made me feel good. I knew Tom would be proud of me. The boy's name was Tommy. He came to the park every week. I played with him often. He was small, but he ran fast. He called me Big Brother. I liked that name. It made me feel important. I taught him how to kick and pass. He listened carefully. He always smiled. Playing with him made my heart warm every time. At home, I told my mom about Tommy. She smiled. She said, "You are helping him like Tom helped you." I thought about that. It felt true. Tom helped me learn football. He helped me be brave. Now I was helping someone else. That made me happy. I felt useful. I felt like I was doing something good with my life. One weekend I had an idea. I asked Mom if we could start a small football group for kids. She said yes. She helped me tell other parents. Soon many kids came to the park. We played together. We ran and laughed. I gave them shirts with their names. I told them to believe in their dreams. I said, "Never stop playing." The kids were happy. Their parents watched and clapped. They thanked me. I said, "This is for Tom." They asked, "Who is Tom?" I told them his story. They listened quietly. Some of them cried. Then they said, "He must have been very special." I nodded. I said, "He was my brother, my best friend, my light." That night I sat in my room. I looked at Tom's photo again. I said, "Look what we did." I smiled. I felt strong. I felt proud. My heart was not heavy like before. I still miss Tom, but now I smiled when I thought of him. I knew I would never forget. I knew I would keep his memory alive forever and always. The next month, something amazing happened. A local coach came to the park. His name was Mr. Parker. He watched the kids play. He watched me teach. After the game, he came to me and said, "You are good with kids. You play well, too. Have you ever thought about joining a team?" I smiled and said, "Not for a long time." Mr. Parker gave me a paper. It was about a youth football club. He said, "We need players your age. Come try." I looked at the paper. My heart beat fast. I thought of Tom. I thought of his dream. I went home and showed my mom. She read it and said, "Tom would want this for you. You should go and try." I went to the trial day. Many boys were there. They were fast and strong. I felt a little nervous, but I wore Tom's shirt. I touched his name. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Then I went on the field. I ran hard. I passed the ball. I kicked with all my power. I gave my best. I smiled the whole time. After the game, the coach called my name. He said, "You are in." I could not believe it. I laughed. I almost cried. I thanked him many times. I ran home fast. I told my mom. She hugged me tight. She said, "I'm so proud of you." That night, I looked at the stars. I whispered, "Tom, we did it. We are back." The first day at the club was fun. The team was kind. The coach was strong but fair. We trained hard. We learned new skills. I felt tired but happy. I wanted to grow. I wanted to make Tom proud. I told the boys about him. They said he sounds like a great brother. I nodded and said he was the best. Playing football every week gave me hope. It gave me focus. I started to dream again. I dreamed of big games. I dreamed of being on TV. I knew it was a long road, but I was ready to walk it. I had my mom. I had my friends. I had Tom in my heart, and I had my team. That made me feel strong every day. One day after practice, I sat alone. I looked at the field. I remembered Tom's face. I said, "Thank you." I said, "You gave me strength." I knew life would always be different without him, but I also knew I was not lost. I had a path. I had a dream again. I had love. That was enough to keep going forward. A year had passed since Tom left. I was still playing football. I was stronger now. I was faster too. My coach said I had talent. He said I had heart. Every time I played, I wore Tom's shirt. It was old now, but I didn't care. It was my lucky shirt. It gave me power. It gave me something to believe in. On Tom's birthday, Mom and I went to the beach. It was his favorite place. We sat on the sand. We watched the waves. The sky was gray, but it was calm. We brought flowers. We brought his photo. I held the picture and said, "Happy birthday, Tom." Mom held my hand. We didn't speak much, but we felt close. I walked along the shore. I kicked a small rock. I looked at the sea. It felt like Tom was there. I closed my eyes and listened to the wind. It sounded like a whisper. I imagined him saying, "Keep going, James." I smiled. A tear came down my face, but I didn't feel weak. I felt warm. I felt proud to be his brother. That evening, I wrote a letter. I wrote it to Tom. I said, "I'm doing well. I miss you every day, but I smile more now. I play football again. I help kids. I try to be brave like you. I folded the letter. I put it in a small box. Then I buried it in the sand near his photo. It was my gift to him, my way to say thank you. Weeks passed, and our team entered a big match. It was the biggest game of the year. Everyone was excited. The coach said, "Give it your all." I nodded. I looked at the sky. I whispered, "This is for you, Tom." The game started. It was fast. It was hard. We ran, we passed, we kicked. I gave everything I had. In the last minute, the score was even. I got the ball. I ran fast. My heart pounded. I saw the goal. I kicked with all my strength. The ball flew high. It went in. The crowd cheered. My team lifted me. I smiled with tears. I pointed to the sky. I said, "For you, Tom." That moment was the best in my life. After the game, my team hugged me. My coach said, "You were amazing." I said, "I had help." I didn't explain, but I knew. I knew Tom was with me, in my heart, in my game, in my life. That win was for him. That smile was for him. And I felt he smiled too, wherever he was. That made me feel complete. Back home, Mom made a small cake. We lit one candle. We said, "Happy birthday" again. We shared stories. We laughed. We cried a little. But the sadness was soft now. It was mixed with love. It was mixed with light. We looked at Tom's photo. We said, "We will never forget you." Then we hugged tightly. Now I still play football. I still help kids. I still talk to Tom in my heart. I learned something important. Even when someone is gone, love stays, memories stay, dreams stay. Tom gave me all of that. He gave me hope. He gave me strength. I will carry that forever. I will live for both of us now, with love. It's a good way to practice English every day. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories.